Since the breakup of the Soviet Union, Armenia has been an important security partner for Russia and houses one of the few military bases the Kremlin maintains on foreign soil. It's also remained a member of the Collective Security Treaty Organization. Armenia prioritizes its relationship with Russia mainly because it's the only game in town for security on Nagorno-Karabakh. However, given Russia's reluctance to intervene in the 2020 conflict and enforce the ceasefire agreement, since Armenia appears Armenia has second thoughts about its longtime partnership with Russia and shifts toward the West. Earlier this month, the Armenian Prime Minister said that the country's reliance on Russia, wasn't paying off, particularly as Moscow struggles to supply its own military, let alone partnering with other militaries. He continued, dependence on just one partner in security matters is a strategic mistake. Armenia followed up by announcing its first ever tranche of humanitarian assistance to Ukraine. And this week, U.S. forces commenced 10 days of joint exercises with Armenian soldiers. This is clearly an embarrassing setback for the Kremlin, which has summoned Armenia's ambassador to complain about unfriendly steps the country was taking. Does Armenia's recent actions represent a permanent shift away from Russia, or simply a shot across the bow for Moscow to intervene more forcibly in Nagorno-Karabakh? Do you have thoughts on this? What direction is Armenia going?
Senator, thanks for that question. I think after Russia took the action that it did against its neighbor Ukraine on February 24th last year, all of Russia's neighbors are sleeping with one eye open, as they should be. I think all of them are understanding that as they watch this vivid, grotesque demonstration of Russia's disregard for the territorial integrity and sovereignty of their neighbors, they are beginning to have second thoughts about having invited Russian troops onto their territory, relying on Russia as their sole source of energy, hosting Russian military installations in their lands. And this is a set of questions that deserve to come up. What it also does is it represents an opportunity for us to develop these relationships. And so, Senator, as you point out, our military is out there in Armenia to conduct our first ever bilateral military exercise with Armenia, and we're going to continue to take advantage of it.
Okay, so specifically, you were very broad when you started off your remarks there. Specifically with regard to Armenia, is Armenia, again, is this a shot across the bow to Moscow to get them to pay more attention to Nagorno-Karabakh, or is it more about they want to move away from Russia permanently and more toward the West? Do you have an opinion on that?
I think it's too early to tell.
Too early to tell?
But it doesn't mean that we shouldn't jump in there to turn it into exactly what we would like to see it be, which is a real decision to partner with us as opposed to Russia. But to get there, we need to be present, which is why our assistance to Armenia counts so much and our partnership counts so much.
So given Armenia's reliance economically, militarily, and so forth on Russia, are there concerns or is there a risk that Russia might respond more forcibly if they continue to see the Armenians move toward the West?
I think Russia has proven itself and Putin has proven himself to be vindictive to anyone who does not bend to his will. So yes, we are very much on the alert for that.
So what's your thoughts on the strategy of how we walk that line then between continuing to develop relationships with Armenia and not triggering some sort of Russian response that would be more forceful?
I think we've got to keep a close watch on the situation. We need to increase the array of assistance that we provide to Armenia, whether it's developmental assistance, whether it's defense partnerships, security activities, and expand those out as much as we can in a way that is acceptable for the Armenians themselves, right? This can't be a unilateral move. So we got to do this in true partnership with Armenia and make sure that we're providing the support that they need to make the turn that they'd like to make.
So Russian sanctions evasion has been a particular problem in the Caucasus. And Armenia has allowed Russia to access key microchips and electronics that Russia needs for its war on Ukraine. Has Armenian enforcement of these sanctions improved, or does it remain a country of concern for sanctions evasions?
I believe that they have been observing those sanctions.
They've been observing the sanctions. They've been shutting off Russia from getting microchips and so forth?
I believe so, but I'm going to have to... Yeah, we'll take that question back and get back to you, sir.
Great. Thank you very much.